You can see the fear in the eye of this moose. He has reason to be afraid. He's caught between the trusses of a logging road bridge.
Looked like he'd been struggling there for quite some time. The snow was somewhat melted around him, and he was down about a 3-foot trench of snow that he'd scratched away trying to free himself.
This is how Neil and Shalana Thronson of Kimberley, BC found him dangling over Matthew Creek.
I think he was pretty much waiting to die at that point. If we could do anything to even help him get out, then we were going to try.
They had a shovel, so they started to dig.
Unfortunately, we couldn't. He was so heavy, we couldn't pull him. But we did manage to get his front feet out of the bridge trusses several times, and he almost got up, probably two or three times. I'd say we were probably 3 to 4 hours we were out there. But as it started to get darker, we realized we didn't have the resources and weren't going to be able to get him out. So we headed back to town before people started to look for us. It was really tough. Shalana was in tears, and I wasn't far behind. Really wanted to help this animal.
Conservation Officer Paul Byzantine was contacted, and he made plans to set out in the morning.
We mustered up a couple of individuals from our office, one from the BC Parks branch and another conservation officer. It was really wore out. It had probably been there for 2 to 3 days, and it had struggled, obviously, during that time period, trying to free itself. I don't know how much longer it would have survived if it had left there for another 2 or 3 days. It probably would have expired there. But as it turned out, we were able to, with the 3 of us and a few slings, were able to manhandle the moose out of the bridge deck and onto some plywood. And then from there, we were able to drag it off the bridge by the skidoos.
Right on.
I'm sure the moose was saying thank you, but I don't talk moose. I'm not too sure, but I'm sure he had a smile on his face when he finally got off that bridge deck. To be commended, these 2 people, for doing what they did. They spent quite a bit of time of their own trying to get this moose out.
I definitely think we have a special bond with them. Probably we'll call him Matthew Moose because we found him at Matthew Creek.
Kimberly Davidson, CTV News, Cranbrook.